Have you ever made a grandiose statement or came up with a slogan about how you're going to handle adversity, and then adversity comes and you forget the thing you said you was going to do because there's a curveball coming and you're dodging, and actually no, it's not one curveball. It's like you're in the batting cage and they're just coming, the machine is malfunctioning and they're just coming at you, things on top of things on top of things, and you're just trying to figure out, why is this happening to me? And you're not thinking about how you said you were going to navigate it. Not you? Okay, well, it happened to me. Hi, repeatedly. Hi, I'm Rakia of Mind of Rakia, and I'm a medical trauma moldtoxicity survivor. On this channel, I talk about my recovering from multiple surgeries, living with chronic pain, chronic illness, undiagnosed conditions, misdiagnosed conditions, bootleg doctors, gaslighting doctors, medical trauma, and mold toxicity in no particular order. And right now in this video, I want to talk about how I had planned to navigate certain things, because when you're living with chronic illness, you know, if you're watching this and you're living with chronic pain, chronic illness, or something like that, you know things happen while you're trying to reach your goal. So I had planned, I had said what I was going to do was, I am going to move through this year with grace. That's my word, and not for the year. That's my word, period. At 12, the stroke of midnight, December 31st, 2026, grace is going to roll over. If I change it, it'll be great grace, okay? But I also said I was going to pivot my plans. I was going to make goals, but make them attainable, and I was going to pivot. And so I had planned to do a video on my laser surgery and to document my vitrectomy for detached retina. I had detached retina July of 2025. I had the surgery at the end of July. And I was going to do, like, you know, an updated recovery. And that's what I wanted to do. But those type of videos for me are more difficult, because I have to pull together the information that I had, you know, and try to, you know, I want to add to, how do you say? I want to add something when people are searching for that. When you're going through a surgery like that, an eye surgery, it is, you know, you don't know, and there's not a lot of information. So I want to make sure I'm showing you, this is what you're going to look like here, this is what you're going to do there. And so I had said my next video was the laser surgery video, because that's torture. I'm still going to do that video, but this is what, but it's more difficult to do. It's more taxing on my eyes, it's more taxing on my mind, and on my neurologically challenged hands. But anyway, I said I was going to do that. I didn't do it because things happen. And I had taken this class before the things happened. I took a YouTube class with Gabe. I'm going to call him Gabe B, because I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, but I think it's Gabe Built. Anyway, I took the class, and in the class, they said, when are you going to upload your video? And I'm like, February 25th. You know, I'm like, you know, I'm ready. And then people were like, well, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. And I'm like, I got mine together. I'm going to. No, because guess what? February 25th came and went. And a week after came and went. I can't think of the date right now because brain fog. But, and I didn't do it. And so then instead of pivoting, because I knew that video was too hard for me to do, I'm still trying to do that thing. Does that happen to you? Like, instead of, you know, I'm just going to do it, I could do it, I could power through this, you know, positivity. And no, toxic positivity is toxic for a reason. If you cannot do the thing, then let it go for a minute and do the thing that you can do. Like right now, I'm just going to ramble. But, so see, I'm rambling. But I did not do that. And so what had happened to me, what had happened was, I think the first thing I did my taxes. And that, to me, I've been struggling to make money. When you live in chronic pain and you're free, you know, I'm an author and I'm self-employed. And so when you have to do those things, when you're chronic illness, there's nothing to fall back on. There's no 60% of anything. You don't have that, you know, that money coming in. You can't say disability. You can't do any of those things. And then it was like I had to pay taxes no matter what. You still got to pay taxes on what you have earned. So it was just like, that hurt me. And then I'm recovering from toxic mold. I lived in a mold house, condo for a very long time, 18 years. And I think 10 of them at least were toxic mold, because maybe more than that, because I had surgery before. But anyway, I'm going to get off track. And so I'm discovering that I brought some mold with me. I had to move out of a 2-bedroom that I had been in for 18 years and get rid of a whole bunch of crap, get rid of a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't crap, and move in with my son into his 1-bedroom apartment. And when I did that, I felt better for a little bit of time. But then he had already brought things from the house because he did not know. He had recently moved. And then I brought certain things. So then the other night, I'm smelling mold. I'm smelling mold in this living area. And then I found something that we had saved. I'm sorry, what is itching? I found something that we had saved in mold for. No. I found to be paranoid. She's paranoid. My nose is really itching right now. I don't know why. Anyway, okay, that actually is something. Okay. Not a mold spore. That was like a piece of lint or whatever. I found something. I had to clean it off, and I set it outside. And I'm still smelling something. I go into my bedroom, and I have this beautiful cabinet, this metal embossed cabinet, and a beautiful metal pewter lamp is engraved and cut out. See, I told you. Okay, it's cut out, and what was that? Okay, it has cut out. I think I'll put the picture in because I'm rambling all over the place. But I was laying down, and I was still smelling something that's right next to my bed, and I took a picture because my eyes were bothering me. I have been having a lot of problems. It's like 7 months out. And this eye will swell, it'll get smaller, it'll droopy. And so I took a picture of my eyes because I wanted to see what they look like. And then I said, well, let me put my glasses on. I took a picture again, and this time I had like what looked like a mole spore on my face. I'm serious. I'm going to put that picture in too. And I was like, what? And people, well, it could be the reflection, and most likely it came from somewhere. It had to be a reflection because you can't really photograph them. But the point was, I saw it and I freaked out. I got up, I went to the bathroom. I didn't wash my face right away because I was going to wash my face, but let me look. I went back to the metal nightstand and I looked closer, and mold had grown on it because the metal had lifted up in one area, so I guess the moisture was able to get it, and there was mold on the cabinet. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm cleaning that off, and I wanted to make sure that my face was clean, but I wanted to clean that stuff off first. And so I did all of that, and I moved it out into the living area. No, my son came home just in time. He moved it out for me. And that hurt because I did that. I brought that because I wanted to keep it. And so now my thing is, everything must go, regardless if you can afford it, if not, if you brought it from over there, okay, I have to decide, do I want to hold on to my favorite things, or do I want to let it go and have a favorite life? Because right now my life is not such. Do I want to hold on to the past, or do I want to have a future? So I decided to let it go. And that was another thing that kind of brought me down. And I was just like, okay, that happened. So now I'm paranoid because, and I noticed that my symptoms were starting to kick up again. Because I've been detoxing for September, October. I'm going to say that was the beginning of it. But I've been going strong. Even through the holidays, I was acting like I had sense. But it's been like several months, 4 months at least. And I started feeling the symptoms again. I was like, okay, is this that, Hertzheimer, where, as your body, the load, it's so many toxins in me, I've been there so long, the load of it is too much. And so your body, they get reintroduced into the bloodstream. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. The bottom line was, what happened was, that was another thing. Then I'm sitting in the recliner that I brought over. I didn't want to bring that, but they were like, we paid this money for, we don't bring this recliner. And so I was like, I cleaned it, vinegar and water, chronically, all of the different things several times. But then finally I said, you know what? It happens when I lean back, and then sometimes I just get this big heavy sleep comes over me, and I'm like, it's like I'm getting sucked into something, getting sucked into sleep, but not in a good way. And so I went behind the back of it, and I pulled up the recliner skirt, and sure enough, that flap, there was mold under there. So I had my son clean that out, and I can't get rid of it right now. We need to pay to have somebody come take it out of here. And if you clean it, if you ain't killed all of them, you just really jacking yourself up. So I'm like, we're just going to spray it, get it out. Anyway, so those things set me back. It affected my eyes, it affected my hands, and then I'm holding my phone. I've had this phone, I think 4 years. I think I had this phone, I'm not sure. Anyway, And it's been in that house. And so these are little holes and devices where, the mycotoxins can get in. I might sound like I'm tripping, but until you've lived it, until you have lived where something has taken your whole entire life and wrecked it, and you've had multiple surgeries, multiple conditions, and nobody has an answer, and you find out there's mold, you're going to be a little paranoid. Okay? So anyway, all of that set me back, and I could not do this video. And I'm like, I want to do the video. I couldn't even think properly to write bullet points, and I wanted to type them, to print it right out of ink. All this adversity just coming, adversity, okay, coming at me. And I was like, I'm still trying to do this one video. I'm like, you know what? How about you just talk about this, okay? You just talk about adversity, because I did a video when I first started. My channel is new, and I did a video about New Year chronic pain versus New Year's goals, and how you need to set realistic goals. And how you need to pivot when those goals change, when those plans change, and move in grace. So the grace part, I give that to myself. Sometimes I forget. Let me get some water. Sometimes I forget because it's hard. It's a lot of things happening. But the pivoting part, I was beating myself up against the wall. I'm in the back cage and things are coming. I'm like, I could do the video. I got it. Let me write this down. And it was like, what? Let me speak text. And then I realized that my phone, my eyes would be watering when I'm in front of my devices. So the laptop was there, the phone was there, the TV, all of these things, the mycotoxins could just get in there, okay? And when they get in your body, inflammation, your organs, different things happen to you. And that I say that we have a lot of illnesses today that they tell you there's no cure for. They tell you that there's no really treatment. It can be managed, but they never tell you what caused it. And so they call me Dr. Kia Google, because I would say since 2017, when I started having symptoms before my hysterectomy, I was Googling my symptoms for days, and I'm trying. So I've been on the rabbit hole. It's this, is that, this is that, this is this. And they tell me, you have this, oh, that's wrong. You have that, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of the things are caused by something, but they can't tell you what it's caused. And the more I'm reading, the more I'm learning that, toxic mold spores, okay? Not all mold. There's mold everywhere. Like people say, there's mold everywhere, but until you clearly, if you can discredit somebody talking about they're living with toxic mold, you have not experienced it, and you need to be grateful. Okay, and you better hope karma don't come for you. But it's everywhere. But the toxic mold produces mycotoxins that get into your system and wreak havoc. I can't stop losing weight. I'm just, we're so vain that I'm a big girl, so I'm not a big girl anymore. I'm just tall and flabby. But you're so worried about, doctors so worried about my BMI that they're not worried about the fact that I'm losing weight without trying. And that's a problem, but that's the cause of it, because it affects the way your body, your gut, the way your body digests food. I'm not supposed to be doing this. See, this video is random. I was going to call it one thing. I don't know what it's going to be called now, because I'm all over the place. But the bottom line is I'm dealing with that, and it affects my brain like no other. I mean, I could be getting ready to, today I did a video on it. I said I am going to wash my face, and I was like, did I wash my face? And I actually had washed it twice because I forgot. And I said, I'm going to put my moisturizer on. I reached for my moisturizer and forgot what I was going to do. I said I'm going to put my moisturizer on. I did one other thing, reached for the moisturizer, and didn't know where my hand was going. Why? What are you looking for? It took me a minute. I found it. I was like, oh, put this on, please. Get in there with it, okay? But, mycotoxins will give you dry skin, dry hair, dry inside, just a whole lot. And anyway, so what I am trying to say with my notes that I have here, I found them all, the smart devices. I am really trying to start my life over at 64. I created this channel because I wanted to share my experiences, because I know I'm not the only one. If you are out here and you've been to every doctor, you have tried this, that, and the other, and they don't have an answer for you. They give you a name. You may have a name of something. I have generalized axonal sensory motor polyneuropathy, which means that the nerves, my sensory and my motor nerves, are jacked over my whole entire body. So my balance is off. my hand-eye coordination is off. The strength in my hands is off. When I walk, my feet, my hands spaz up and claw up, and just so many things happen. But he can't tell me why. You can't tell me why. If you can't tell me why, you can't tell me what's not causing it. So like when I go back to the doctor and I say, okay, I found out, I've seen it with my own eyes, and they're like, well, maybe you just have allergies. Maybe you're not colonized. I have never had chewed in front of you. I've never said anything about my sinus. I've never said that. But my sinuses are infected. It's so bad that then it's not even running. I have to get it to a point. I remember one time, I'm all over the place. One time I went away and I came back home and my eyes and my nose, I think even something was coming out, my ears were just running and I couldn't figure it out. I thought I had a cold. No, I was just coming back into that mess. So, there's so much happening. What was I saying? Let me get back on track. I hope I might have to cut this. But if you can relate to this, if you have seen all the doctors and they don't have an answer for you, they just have some medication that's not really working for you. It's not a name for a thing, and a drug is not the cause of it. What is causing it is what we have to think about, because maybe we can get better. In my mind, I'm going to get better. I'm detoxing. I'm getting rid of the things that are causing it. I'm going to do what I have to do in order to survive, because after 10 years, sorry, my eyes looking crazy. After 10 years of toxins, probably it's more, but after 13 years from surgery, from knees to hysterectomy to back to eyes, all of that, I got to get better. And so I have to remember to pivot. And so this is my pivot right here. I am going to do this video. And hopefully I can do the one I want to do about laser surgery. Hopefully that will be next. We'll see what happens. But it just takes a lot out of you. What is this? I'm like, this is my handwriting. Not because I have bad handwriting, but because when I'm writing, I start out really well, and then my fingers just, and then which letter comes first? It's a lot. It's a lot. So I have to be able to pivot. I have to give myself grace. If you are living in chronic pain, or if you're living with an undiagnosed condition, or if you're in the batting cage of life and the balls that's coming at you is malfunctioning, you have to be able to pivot. You got to give yourself grace. And, that's all I got. Please comment if you are going through whatever it is, But if you have experiences like me, you like this video, if you made it this far, like it anyway, share it with somebody. Maybe it's not you. Share it with somebody who's going through chronic illness or living with toxic mold, or suffering from medical trauma, because it's traumatizing trying to find out what's wrong with you, and then once you do, trying to heal from it, and then things keep popping off. I'm like, what is going on? So share it with them and subscribe to my channel. If this is something that you're interested in, please subscribe to my channel and share this video. That is all I got, I think. Thank you for coming and listening to The Mind of Rakia, where I tell all of my medical business so it won't be yours. Bye.